Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today, we take a journey back in time to one of the world's earliest and most remarkable civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization. Flourishing over 4,500 years ago in what is now Pakistan and northwest India, this ancient society was known for its advanced city planning, drainage systems, and vibrant trade. Join us as we explore the mysteries, achievements, and legacy of the Indus Valley Civilization. Other figurines depict animals, possibly indicating animal veneration or totemism. The famous Pashupati seal shows a seated figure surrounded by animals, interpreted by some scholars as an early representation of the Hindu god Shiva. The presence of fire altars at certain sites also indicates ritualistic practices, possibly involving fire worship. The society of the Indus Valley appears to have been relatively egalitarian. Unlike other ancient civilizations, there is little evidence of grand palaces or monumental temples. The houses in the cities were of uniform quality, suggesting that social divisions might not have been as pronounced. Artifacts found in homes indicate a standard of living that was relatively consistent across the urban population. Women likely played a significant. The Indus Valley Civilization displayed a level of urban planning and infrastructure that was far ahead of its time. Its cities were not haphazard clusters of buildings but were meticulously planned and constructed with great precision. One of the most remarkable features of this civilization was its standardized and organized city layout. Archaeological findings from major sites such as Mohenjo-Daro, Harappa, Dholavira, and Kalibangan show a consistent pattern in urban design, with streets laid out in a grid pattern and dividing the city into rectangular blocks. This layout suggests the existence of a strong central authority or municipal body responsible for city planning and construction. The grid pattern is considered a sign of advanced civil engineering, and it indicates a clear vision of urban organization. The streets themselves were wide and straight, often intersecting each other at right angles. Some of the main avenues were as wide as 10 meters, suggesting that they were designed to accommodate both foot traffic and carts or wagons. The uniformity in the street layout also helped with efficient movement within the city and likely assisted with military or administrative mobility if required. Smaller lanes branched off from the main streets and led into residential areas. What is astonishing is that this pattern was not observed in just one city, but across several, indicating a shared architectural and planning knowledge that was transmitted across the civilization. Another extraordinary aspect of Indus urbanism was the advanced drainage and sanitation system. Each house, whether small or large, was connected to a covered drainage line that ran along the side of the street. These drains were built using baked bricks and were covered with slabs that could be removed for cleaning. Wastewater from kitchens and bathrooms flowed into these drains, ensuring a level of hygiene unmatched by other contemporary civilizations. In some houses, private wells and bathrooms have been discovered, revealing the importance the people placed on cleanliness and personal sanitation. Moreover, larger buildings and public structures had access to even more elaborate water systems, including large reservoirs and public baths. Perhaps the most famous example of Indus water architecture is the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro. This structure was a large rectangular tank made of finely fitted bricks and coated with bitumen to prevent leakage. It was accessed by steps on two sides and surrounded by a series of rooms, which may have been used for changing or rituals. The floor of the tank had a sophisticated drainage system, including a central outlet and settling tanks, which kept the water clean. The purpose of the Great Bath is still debated, but most scholars agree it had religious or ceremonial significance. Regardless of its use, it remains a stunning example of the civilization's architectural and hydraulic skill. The residential buildings in Indus cities also exhibit a high degree of planning and functionality. Houses were usually constructed from uniformly sized baked bricks and often had 2 stories. Rooms were arranged around a central courtyard, providing light and ventilation. Some houses had private wells, toilets, and even small underground drainage systems that connected to the larger municipal drains. The fact that such facilities were available not just to the elite but also to ordinary citizens suggests a degree of social equity and access to basic urban amenities. Public buildings and warehouses were also integral to Indus urban planning. Large granaries have been discovered, which likely served as storage centers for agricultural surplus. Their location near major roads and docks suggests a connection between food storage and trade logistics. The presence of raised platforms and wide access ways indicates that goods were brought in by carts and possibly redistributed for trade or public consumption. The consistency in city design, construction techniques, and materials across a vast geographical area reveals a high degree of standardization, possibly governed by a central administrative system. The baked bricks used in construction were of standardized dimensions, showing that measurements and architectural norms were carefully followed. Such a level of planning and uniformity in a prehistoric civilization is not only rare but also incredibly impressive. It reflects a sophisticated understanding of engineering, resource management, and public administration, characteristics that were not commonly associated with ancient civilizations of that time. The urban planning of the Indus Valley Civilization stands as a legacy of organized and sustainable urban development that remains relevant and inspiring even in modern times.